So this is a presentation about giving a presentation. This is all you need. Problem, solution, action. That's it. You're a business person. What's the problem? I'm making $400K a year, but I'm paying half of that to Uncle Sam. I don't want to pay $180,000 for my $400,000 to the government. This is ridiculous. The solution is, let's do some tax strategy. You can write this off. You can write this off. You can write this off. Oh, that's awesome. Action. What do I do now? Easy. You pay me $50,000 and you won't have to pay Uncle Sam $180,000. You got it. You just made $50,000. Do you want to make $50,000? I want to. Problem, solution, action. Easy. Why do I care? The problem should always answer this question. Why do I care? If it does not answer this question, people will not pay attention. I hope I've answered that question of why do you care. So you always want to hit them with a hook. You can tell the story like I did. I told a short story about my journey on stage, or you can ask them a powerful question. Solution, how can I fix this? Similar to what I was talking about with Brother Ali. Once you give them the problem and you agitate the problem and you make them realize the importance of solving the problem, then you tell them what to actually do. So this more so applies to people in professional fields, right? Like Sister Hiba, right? You're giving data. You're giving case studies. You're giving documentation. Maybe you're doing a demonstration. Allow me to demonstrate how our product works. This is where you do the selling. This is where you show them, okay, this is the solution, no doubt. Action. So what if I told you everything you needed to do to solve a problem, but then I didn't give you any action step? You'd probably just leave this class and think, oh, that was great, and then just forget all of it and never apply it. And if your intent is to sell a product, you would have just left $1 million on the table, right? Going back to that example. If Brother Ali told somebody, hey, we can do tax strategy for the next 6 weeks, and I can save you $120,000 on your tax bill. He's like, awesome. The brother leaves and goes to someone else to do that. He could have very well turned that attention into action. He said, I can do your free consultation right now and show you how much we could save. Would you like to do that? Yes, I'd like to do that. Boom, now you've got them. So always, always, always turn the attention, the solution, into a practical step for your audience. Maybe if you're a professional, you could say something along the lines of, based on all of this comprehensive data that I've showed you, the next step that makes sense is to shorten this contract from a 12-month to a 6-month. That's an action, right? That's something that they can do. Clear, concise, and results-driven. Every successful presentation follows this framework, including this one. Have you all watched Shark Tank? What did they do on Shark Tank?
Sales pitches.
Sales pitches. And how did they do those sales pitches? Every single time. What's the problem? What's the solution? The action, $100,000 for 10% stake in my company. Every single time. It does not matter what type of speech, what type of application. PSA framework. So as a quick action step, the next presentation you have, just jot down on a piece of paper, PSA. And this is going to cut out all the fluff and proceed to wow them with your skills. So in the further lessons, we're going to discuss how to actually cool your nerves. And one of those tips I can give you right off bat is most people are not actually thinking about you. Like most people are thinking, maybe my little brother is. He's like, what am I going to eat for dinner when I go home? What? Right. And it's not insulting. It's just our minds tend to wander. And having comfort in knowing that most people care about themselves more than they care about you is refreshing. Because I know even if I mess up, or I trip over my words, or I just say the wrong thing, I can beat myself up about it all day. But then I just remember, within 30 minutes of leaving, everyone's going to forget it. but people will never forget how you make them feel. Yes.
So that's actually my concern is like saying the wrong thing or tripping up because everything's recorded now. You know, you don't even have an opportunity. And by the time you realize you said something wrong, you don't have the opportunity to go back and correct it before people have made it into something more than it necessarily is. You know what I mean?
That's definitely a good concern for you to have is, am I going to say the wrong thing? And that's something that the best of the best feel more than any of us. So if you have an audience of 10 million people, or if you're the president, and you're the president of a country with 300 million people, you could say the smallest thing, everyone's going to hear it all across the world. That's what comes with fame, notoriety. All right, do's and don'ts. You ready? This is just for your next presentation. Tell them what you're going to tell them. Introduction. Hey, my name is Muhammad Shmonimo, AK, and today I'm going to tell you why you must master public speaking. Tell them what you're going to tell them. Then you tell them. This is me telling you how to do it. And then after you've done the first two, you tell them what you told them. In conclusion, this is why public speaking is so important. That's it. That's basically a PSA framework condensed. Leave room for questions, like I'm doing. I like to stop. Maybe you said something too fast. Maybe you said something that was misinterpreted. Oh, I didn't understand that. Could you say that again? Yes, I can say it again. Could you go back a slide? Yes, I can. Because the number one goal is to get your audience to where you are at. Right? I'm here. How can I get my audience right there with me? Speak at a moderate pace. Breathe. A lot of the times when people speak too fast, it's because you get anxious and you just want to be over and it's a mess. And actually, I've watched dissertations at my university. So I'm not a PhD student, but a lot of my friends were. And I'd watch these dissertations. Basically, a dissertation, correct me if I'm wrong, is when a PhD student comes up and they present all of their academic findings in a presentation, and they usually have some sort of call to action at the end, right? Or a claim. This is my claim. I'm going to defend it. A defense, a thesis. A lot of those PhD students were chill. Chill. No one's going to blame you if you take a few extra seconds. So that's important. Breathe. And that's actually going to help mitigate what the sister was talking about saying the wrong thing. The slower you go, you give your audience more time to think and actually digest what you said, and you can think before you talk. This next one is give an action step at the end, which we covered. Always, always, always give them something to do. Stay on topic and keep it simple. What do I mean by keep it simple? Well, let me show you. It is a transgression to subject our clientele's capital to purgatory for the remainder of the transactionary period. Brother, what did you just say? You are not smart. You don't have to intellectually flex. Hey, everybody, it's wrong to leave our customers' money stuck in the account. That's what keep it simple means.
So don't use complicated language
Yeah.
when you make the presentation.
That sounds like you're reading it off of a legal document.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you need a lawyer to basically translate.
And you two brought up awesome points. The first one is, don't use complicated words for the sake of just sounding intelligent. Now, if the word is precise, then use it. Precise, on point, use it. But if you're doing this just for doing this, it actually hurts you. The second thing is, why do you think all legal documents read like this and not like this? It's because they don't want the average person to understand it. They want things to be complicated so that only a professional can handle it. Now, the more complicated what you're talking about is, the bigger the gap between this and this. So you're in finance. And you're delivering speeches to the C-suite, right? Okay, you're talking to C-suite, executives, CEO, CFOs. There's going to be a big gap. And you are machines and people, right? Technology and humans. Yeah? So the bigger the gap, the more work you have to do to come back down here. Watched a video the other day. This guy said, if you can't explain a concept to a third grader, you don't know it. Don't forget to introduce yourself. Hey, my name is Muhammad. I've been with XYZ company for 6 years, and my role today will be to present this information to you regarding yada, yada, yada. Always introduce yourself. Because now you're a human being. Now they can connect with you. Second one is, do not overwhelm your audience. I haven't covered too much stuff in this presentation, but you've been able to go with me little by little, digest what I'm saying. If I made this PowerPoint 600 slides, it's overwhelming. Don't overwhelm. Don't do this. So ladies and gentlemen, I just want to talk about the financial statement for Q1, where we grew an estimated $2.1 million in the first 6 weeks. And if you look at figures A, B, and C, you can see the profound impact that this had on the interest rate spikes in the third quarter of the transactionary period. You're not listening to me. You're looking at this. You're distracted. I see this all the time. In university, it frustrated me. This guy's talking, and I'm like, all right, so this is this, and this. And he just keeps going. He just keeps going. Don't do this. This is frustrating. It's distracting. When I was just talking all this nonsense, were you listening to me, or were you looking at this, or were you flipping between the two of them? What were you doing? Yeah. So I'm very good at talking random stuff off the cuff. You can ask my brother and my dad. I'll tell you this. I'm very good at talking just to talk. But it's not intelligent. It's not. It's overwhelming. Okay, next. Don't ramble on and on and on and on. I'm trying to keep myself from doing that. Stay relevant, stay on point, give space. Next is, don't forget to make eye contact. So I could be doing this. I could be doing this. Or I could just look at this the whole time. Yeah, so don't forget to make eye contact, everybody. Don't ever forget that, because there's no connection. I'm trying to look at each and every one of you. Yes? And to combat being nervous on stage and feeling like you're going to die, what I love to do is I like to identify 3 people, usually my friends. I'll be like, hey guys, don't sit together. Can you spread out? Like, why do you want us to sit apart? So that I can look at you, and I can look at you, and I can look at you during my speech. You make eye contact with your friends, I smile. So that's one way to not feel like you're going to die during your next speech. Just look at somebody you know and smile at them. Next one, don't forget to leave room for questions. How did I learn how to speak incredibly well? I had a coach. I paid this coach in high school. I was 17 years old. I paid this coach $100 a month, which when you were 17, that's like a lot of money. Oh my God. I remember my mom. Yeah. Yeah. And I remember my mom telling me, she's like, what are you even learning? Why am I paying? Because my mom was paying it. I wasn't paying it. She's like, why am I paying $100? I'm like, Mom, no, it's amazing. I promise. What did my coach do? He had a bell. And he would call on either me or my friends, and he'd say, okay, Muhammad, give a 1-minute speech about balloons. Impromptu, no preparation. So I'd get up and I'd say, hey everyone, every single filler word, he'd ring the bell. It was embarrassing. It was very embarrassing. But it was pressure that was needed so that I could phase out this useless stuff from my vocabulary. And what do you do instead of saying, so, and like, what do? Just pause. You pause so that you can give yourself some time to think. That's all it is. You feel the pressure of not having all the words spelled out in your head, and you use those words. And it's unprofessional. It is. And it makes you appear less in control. So I'm not going to do that today, but for 2 reasons. One, because all of you came out here in the snow, and I really like you all. And second, this first time of us speaking to each other, I just want to get an idea of where you are. But next class, and every single class after that, I'm going to give you a 1-minute speaking challenge. And people are going to come up here, and they're going to talk about something. This can be prepared or unprepared. But if you use a filler word, I will bring you. So do I have permission to do that? It's not to embarrass you. It's not to belittle you. It's just to give you some good pressure. And it worked for me. I like to take what works for me and give it to everyone else. This is our first action item. Prepare a 1-minute talk about a topic you're interested in. I want everyone to do this for the next lesson. 1-minute talk. It's not that long. Talk about anything. Talk about what you made for dinner. I don't care. Anything. But I will give you the chance to prepare for this. Maybe in a future lesson I won't give you that luxury. Maybe I'll just say give an impromptu. And I'll give you the topic. There's an acronym called FANBOYS. Did you learn this in language arts? FANBOYS. For, and, nor, but. I think I said or already. Yet, and so. These are all words that are suitable to come after a comma. It's fine. But don't overuse them. Some people have that word that they fall back on. Like, and so that's visible. And you know what? How about you ding me if I use a filler? Give me a topic to give a 1-minute talk on. Give me a topic, Sister Hiba.
Tell me what you think about volleyball. It's a sport that I grew up with.
Volleyball. I'm very glad that you asked me what I love about the sport of volleyball. Though it's not something that I'm personally excellent at, it's something that is very culturally relevant in the Sudanese community. I remember growing up, every Saturday we'd go to Mallard Creek Park, and you would see all of the uncles take off their shoes and socks, get on that sand, and start throwing around this volleyball. It was an absolute blast to watch. I wasn't very good at it, but I absolutely enjoyed watching my own father hit the ball with his best friends, and Ali as well. And I'm sure they can attest that while volleyball is not for everybody, it's an incredible pastime for those who find it to be the love of their life. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Now, I'll be giving you techniques on how to do what I just did. I don't want to call it BSing, but all you do, you just go from bubble to bubble to bubble. You're going to practice connecting bits of information in your head together. That's exactly what I did. Volleyball. Notice how I repeated. I'm glad that you asked me to speak about volleyball. I didn't just repeat that for no reason. I gave myself like 5 seconds to think about what I was going to say. Then I looked at my dad. Then I looked at Ali. And I said, oh, Sudanese people, they love volleyball. Oh, what do? At the park every Saturday growing up, they go and play volleyball. So you have to practice speaking and thinking on your feet by connecting these little bubbles of thoughts. And you try your best to bridge the gap in between until you finish. Was that helpful? Awesome. So I'm going to make you all do this next class, but you get to pick the topic. You get to prepare it for week 1. It makes a big difference. So there are about, how many people in this room? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or so, 12 people. I'm speaking at a certain volume. And for the most part, I'm staying in the same space. Now, if I'm talking to 10,000 people, I'm going to be excited. I'm going to raise my voice. Ladies and gentlemen! It's just a different level of engagement. The more people, the more you're going to have to walk. The more eyes you're going to have to cross. The more prepared you're going to have to be. And the less conversational it will be. So if I was talking to these two brothers, I know we could talk for hours. These two especially, we could talk for hours. It will be more conversational. Give me 12 people, a little less conversational, a little less one-on-one, but still very close-knit. 10,000 people, that's where the pressure is on. Right? You're talking about your TED Talks, your world seminars, your ICNAs, your presidential address, right? That is what you're facing at that level. And if you're an introvert, the best piece of advice I could give you is to just practice raising your voice. Be comfortable taking up space. I'm very comfortable taking up this space. A lot of people they kind of curl up and they're quiet and they look at the ground because they feel a little guilty taking up space. There's nothing wrong with taking up space. So that would be my number one recommendation. Next time you feel something, you have something you want to say, practice saying it and practice not screaming, but just speaking up a little bit. Speak up for yourself. I would say that's the first step. Does that help? Speaking for the mirror, I don't think so. What I would do is I would speak to my buddies. I would come and ask my friends, hey, can you just listen to this? You need that real human element. What you can also do is put up a camera, and after you're done, go back and look at yourself, which is what I'm going to do. When I edit this video, I'll be like, okay, I did this, and I did this, and I did this. Just take note of what you did. Do I appear confident? Am I dressed well? Was my tie misaligned the whole time? Right. So camera in front of real people. That's the best way. Does that help?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you all for coming in the snow. Come talk to me while I pack up. Class is officially dismissed.